in here. We're going to start with you, Boris, okay?
Okay. Hello, Janelle. You have worked with a lot of great directors as Barry Jenkins, Theodore Melfi, Robert Zemeckis, Casey Lemons, and Audrey Temple, Gerard Bush, and Christopher Rains. What can you tell us about your collaboration with Kyle Patrick Alvarez, please?
Kyle Patrick Alvarez, and good day to you. Kyle Patrick is a joy. Such a warm ball of creative sunshine with a sprinkle of sprinkles. And really each day, I just like talking to Kyle. He's so kind, he's so thoughtful, so collaborative. It was super important that we were able to go, back and forth about the character, and we had time to rehearse, and just it starts with the director. They set the tone, the director and the cast, especially like whoever's leading, they set the tone of like how we all should come in each day. And we got along instantly, immediately. We understood each other. He loved my process. I loved his. I'm the type of person that would like to watch, like the first 2 takes after we do them, because I learn better visually. And he appreciated that and encouraged that. And I just think that I loved the Stanford experiment. So when I found out he was going to be a part of this, I just couldn't wait to fully, see his vision. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Amandine.
Can you hear him now?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, perfect. How did you get involved in the second season of Homecoming?
I got a box with a small boat sent to my house, and I looked out on the door and I didn't see anyone. I just saw this little boat. It was so scary and eerie. And I got a letter that said, "Will you come home?" And then I got a script. No, I was trying to make up something more interesting. No, they
amazing.
sent. I was going with it. They actually sent in. They sent in the materials to my agent, and I watched the first season. Was a big fan of Julia Roberts and Stephan and Hung and the cast, and I fell in love with the first season. I love the tone of it. I love the shortness of the episodes. I love the music, the score. And I love the suspense, the little details that it honed in on, the Hitchcock vibe that it had. It was doing something different in the TV space. And when I read the script, I said, "Oh, they have brought all the things that I love about the show, but they've elevated it to the next level. They've anteed up on the action, and I felt like with this character, I was going to have a lot of room to play."
Mm. Thank you.
Hello, maybe it's me. I'm not sure. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, go right ahead, Lorenzo.
You said in the past how your work was a reflection of where you were at in a moment of your life. How does the work that you're doing these days and putting out these days reflect where you're at today?
Only time will tell. I have been given, I don't know the impact of what I do until years later. I do films. Some films are like right on time, right now, they're relevant. And some things I've written about or I've been a part of, I've done, over a decade ago. But it seems like right now is the time for it to come out, and it's still socially relevant. And that's the great thing about art, is that it reveals itself over time. I have do you guys hear an echo?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear an echo, which is a little distracting.
Maybe when someone's not talking, they can just mute, and then that way there probably won't be an echo.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Davis, if you could go ahead and ask your question.
You talked about having room to play with this character. She's almost like two different people, almost. How did you decide what parts of her to kind of bring it back after the memory loss? I mean, she's such a dynamic character, Alex, with all of her personality. How did you decide what parts to keep when in the beginning with the memory loss?
I can't see you.
Oh, I have my video off.
One moment. Do y'all hear that? Do you hear that? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Is it a song? Sorry, I don't know what just happened. Hold on. My music started playing.
We don't hear it, Janelle.
Okay, here we go. Woo! Okay. You guys heard that?
No, we didn't.
No,
We couldn't hear it.
You're good. You're good.
Okay,
It
great.
must have been your music on your laptop.
Okay, Savage by Meg Thee Stallion and Beyonce came on very loud in my ears. Somehow that happened. One moment. Okay, I hear a little thing. Okay, so can you please say that question one more time?
Okay, no problem. You talked about having room to play with this character. And it almost feels like she's two different. You're playing two different characters, one with this dynamic woman who has this amazing career job that she does, and then you have this same woman who loses her memory and everything. How did you decide what parts of her to keep after the memory loss, when you were, the way we see her in the beginning and through most of the piece? I'm trying not to give too much away.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that was important is that I did research on what it means to have amnesia, what it means to lose your memory. And I watched films like the Jason Bourne Identity films. I watched Memento. And it's really you're piecing things together, and how I responded to new information was important. And because that would either get me closer to the truth or not. I couldn't look like I lost my memory. So I really spent a significant amount of time trying not to look like I didn't lose my memory. And I think that's where her character traits developed. And like it drove her decision making, and it drove her mannerisms, it drove the little nuances. And I think talking to Kyle Alvarez, the director, and Eli and Micah, the writers, all of us pulling out the things that we felt were necessary, because, this show has a tone, it has a specific tone. And it had to be about eliminating, some choices.
Thank you. I like that. Thanks.
Okay, Ravi, if you could please ask your question.
Yeah, hi, Janelle.
Hi.
So my question to you is that, what were the challenges you faced in taking over the duties of series lead? Earlier it was Julia Roberts, now it's you. And I also want to ask you, is there any aspect from your personal life that you brought to the character?
All right, one question at a time, one question at a time. Okay, so to answer the first half, first of all, Julia Roberts is an icon. She is one of my favorite actors. And for me, it was an honor to know that I was considered to lead the second season and that she was a part of that decision making. She had to say yes because she is an executive producer. And so that was like the highest compliment for me. And then the even bigger compliment was her coming on stage, coming to the sound stage and watching Stephan and I like do our scenes and hearing this loud scream like, ah! And one of the guys in production, because we couldn't see who was watching the monitor, said, "That's Julia Roberts. She's screaming after your take." And I met her right after that. And she told me, how great she thought everything was looking and how great we were doing and how moved she was and just how thankful she was that I said yes. And, she was like, take care of Stephan. And I was like, all right, everything is going to be great. Because I was coming into a family that she had already set the tone with. The people that she was working with last season, a lot of them came on this season. And it was such a familial vibe and I didn't feel any pressure. I think going into it I did, but that had to do with the fact that I was a Black woman leading a show and how there's just so much pressure put on us to be perfect, to do it right, because we don't get these opportunities. We don't get an opportunity to follow after Julia Roberts a lot. We don't get all of the roles that Julia Roberts gets. She gets the opportunity to play and to be so many different characters. And I think that's part of the reason that I'm super excited about this role and letting people see it. They, obviously I'm a Black woman, so I'm going to bring that to the role. But I had the choice to be so many things if I wanted to. It wasn't really dependent on race. Secondarily, what was your question? I'm sorry, what was your next question?
My next question was there any personal elements and that you brought to the character you are playing?
Personal? Yeah. The determination. I was determined to find the truth. And I think I've been like that for a while. I'm always determined to find the truth in life and uncover, I've challenged my church. I've challenged the Bible. I've challenged what people think about sexuality, gender. I've challenged all of that. And I think this particular character wants to get to the truth of what happened, who's lying, who did this to me, why am I here,
Okay, Boris, do you have another
saying
question?
These things.
Yes, after the great arc of Android, the Electric Lady, and Dirty Computer, can we expect a new album for next year?
A new album for next year? Well, right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So I think that one of the things that I feel pressure is like, oh, I'm in a pandemic. People think that I'm in the house and I have time, but I really don't. Like, people will find things for you to do, and I'm also I'm focused on other strengths right now. I don't know if I have a song right now. I'm not really in a creative space right now, musically. I'm not. I'm trying to figure out how I can help people right now. I think we need to pull together as humanity I think that we have seen capitalism be at the forefront of decision making. We've seen ego be at the forefront, and I think this is a moment for us to figure out how to show the strength in numbers, the strength of humanity. We're going to have to be, especially in America, we're going to have to help each other. We can't depend on this administration. We're going to have to be heroes to one another, and also understand that all of us are not in this together in the same boat. My experience in this pandemic is different than the experience of a single Black mom with 5 kids who just got laid off, or someone who can't be with their family because they're a doctor or a nurse, like they're having to, self-quarantine and all of that. So this is a moment to reflect. This is a moment to empathize. This is the moment that can't be about me, but about we.
Thank you.
Amandine, if you have one more question, we only have time for one more.
Oh, we have time for one more?
Yeah, just go right ahead.
Okay. So is there something you'd like to do next after Homecoming? Like, is there another TV show you'd be interested in Sorry.
Man, you know what? I just want freedom. I think that what I want the freedom to play. And I mean, like, in the same way that Johnny Depp in his career, he's been able to do Tim Burton films and dramas and thrillers and Nightmare on Elm Street. And, people look at him like there's nothing he can't do. I want to be looked at in that way. I'm obviously going to do the work that it takes, but opportunity is important. So I'm super excited about collaborating with directors and writers and artists who are ready to take risks, who are ready to lean into to writing more roles where artists can be free, free to play, free to go outside of stereotypes, free to redefine, to redefine that leading role for Black artists.
Joe, did you want to ask a quick question?
Yes, you talked about this moment and how it's so important right now. I was wondering, do you see us using this moment in sci-fi, Afrofuturist type of, in that genre anytime soon? Do you see it kind of reshaping, like this whole COVID and everything that's happening? Do you see it reshaping the sci-fi, Afrofuturist works after this?
Well, the work that I've done has dealt with a lot of this, and that's why it's freaking me out, because I'm like, I watch too much science fiction for this shit. Like this is just like walking outside and seeing people with masks on, running and jogging, feels like a Black Mirror episode, and having this like president over here who's ready to press a button on the nuclear weapon and also fire the whole pandemic team, and it's just as ignorant as they come with co-conspirators. Like, all of this feels like a dystopian, totalitarian run government. And I think it's just going to ultimately be the people. We are going to have to save us, as I said. Like, this is going to be the time where we're going to have to show what we're made of. And we can't depend on, who the leader of this world. So the artists, it's going to take us, the writers, the journalists, what you guys are doing, the things that you're covering, the things, the truth that you're bringing, the people that you're highlighting or choosing to highlight. All of this is going to be on us. We're going to have to, we are going to have to do this. We're going to have to, be the hope and the change that we so desperately need right now. I will say that it will make some of the science fiction work outdated, because it's like, we're going through some of it now. My hope is that it does remain just science fiction and it doesn't come to life. I don't want to be right about some of the things that I've written about, some of the songs that I've had, the themes that I've talked about. I don't want them to come alive. I've always tried to write the music that would say, okay, or tell the stories, with Dirty Computer, like, this is what happens if we have a government that tries to erase our memories, to erase our identities. How can we prevent those things? A lot of my storytelling is like preventing, not bringing it into fruition.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. That's all the time we have.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you
Goodbye.
very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Stay safe.
You